This video is going to look at what is the slope of a line. Normally when we draw lines, they're fairly boring things, but some lines, when you draw them, point up from left to right and might be a little bit steep, or they might point up from left to right but it'll be a little bit more shallow, whereas other lines might point down from left to right and be a little steep, or point down from left to right and be a little bit more shallow. All the slope of a line is a numerical value which does nothing more than tells you how steep or shallow the line is and in what direction it's pointing. I'm sure most of you have heard the definition that slope is a fraction is defined as rise over run, but what does that really mean? Well, an easy way to look at it is to think of the slope as being a set of instructions, a set of directions. Say we have a line here, and say I tell you that the slope of this line is, I'll just make it up, is 3/5. Okay. Well, there's lots of ways to define this slope, but this is the way I'm going to do it. I'm going to think of the bottom number of the rise as being a movement from left to right. So that 5 down there in the bottom of that slope fraction is going to tell me I'm going 5 to the right. The top number of the rise, and rise usually means up, and that's true, if the fraction is positive. The top number tells us to go up if it's a positive fraction. If it's a negative fraction, though, it tells us to move down. So this positive 3 is going to tell us to go 3 up. And so what does that mean, 5 to the right and 3 up? Well, if I tell you this line is a slope of 3/5, that basically says if I start anywhere on the line, if I were to move 5 to the right, then to get back to the line, I would simply have to go 3 up. Now, of course, this line is not drawn to scale. But that's what all that means. And it actually could have started anywhere on the line. It could have started here and gone 5 to the right, and to get back to the line I'd also have to go 3 up. And so all the slope is a number telling you how steep or shallow the line is and what direction it's pointing. Say for instance we had a line that had a slope of, let's make it, let's get rid of this. Say we had a line that had a slope of negative 4/7. Then the 7 still means go to the right, but the negative 4 is actually telling you to go 4 down. And so all that means, if I were to start anywhere on this line, if I were to go 7 to the right, to get back to the line, I'd have to go 4 down to get back to the line. And again, that's all it's doing, is giving me a list of instructions to describe the steepness or shallowness of the line. Now, keep in mind, slopes are fractions. So if you have a slope that's 4h, you definitely want to simplify it to 1/2. If you had a slope of, say, 10/4, you'd want to reduce it to 5/2, but you wouldn't want to make it 2.5, because that would sort of destroy the whole rise over run idea. The only exception to all this is if you had a slope of, say, 10/2, then although that does equal 5/1, it's okay to write that as 5, meaning slopes will be written as a proper fraction fully reduced, an improper fraction fully reduced, or just a single integer. So that's a quick introduction to what is the slope of a line.